Today, we're heading the open road. We're going to dive into the world of a solo traveler and his most trusted companion, all through a really unique collection of art and poetry that brings the journey to life. So, the inspiration for this whole journey comes from this collection right here. It's called Versology, a super string of pearls, by an artist named Avalok. And it's from these pages that we're going to pull all the feelings and reflections of a life lived on two wheels. So, who is the person behind these words? Well, we get this sense of a very specific kind of artist, someone who is on a journey that feels totally purposeful, but also, beautifully open to whatever comes next. And here's how Avalok actually describes himself. Navigating life with purpose, floating toward the unknown. I mean, that one line just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that mix of having a direction, but also just surrendering to the adventure. All right, so every great story needs an epic backdrop, right? And for our writer, that setting is basically a character in its own right. Let's head into the mountains and see how they really shape this story. The poems just drop you right into the middle of the Himalayas. You can almost feel that crisp, cold air and just picture these massive peaks towering over you. For the artist, the mountains aren't just pretty scenery, they're the muse. And this line really gets to the heart of it. See, it's not about conquering the mountain. It's about connecting with it, The poems talk about this deep, deep desire to just be there and soak in the energy of the place. But here's the catch. Here's the tension. As much as our writer wants to get lost in the mountains forever, the poem reminds us that an ordinary man must return to tend to his affairs. And that's a choice we all get, right? That pull between the inspiration we find out in the world and the aspirations that call us back to our daily lives. Okay, so we've got the mountains as our backdrop. Now let's get into the ride itself. Because for a solo writer, the real adventure is all about embracing every single unknown that's waiting just around the next corner. This question is really the heartbeat of the whole experience, isn't it? It's what drives you forward. What's going to be there? Is the road going to climb up into the clouds, or is it going to drop down into a valley? You just don't know. And just look at the range of possibilities here. Every little detail, from the scenery to the food, is a total question mark. Is it going to be comfort, or is it going to be a challenge? A nice warm bed, or a musty old blanket? And you know what? That uncertainty isn't a bug in the system. It's the whole point of the journey. And here is the commitment, loud and clear. The poem spells it out, the thrill that comes from all that doubt, and even a little bit of danger. Well, that's worth so much more than the predictable comfort of some planned tour. This is a choice to live inside the question. But of course, a solo rider is never really alone, are they? And that brings us to the absolute heart of this whole thing, the relationship with the one true constant on the road. A trusted, loyal motorcycle. 20 years. Just let that sink in for a second. 20 years. What does that kind of companionship even look like on these dusty, winding roads? What kind of bond gets forged between a rider and his bike over that much time and that much distance? Well, here he is, the red Apache. The poem describes him as strong and absolutely dependable, a machine that almost never breaks down and has never once said no to a long ride. It's so much more than just a motorcycle. It's a partner. For me, this is the most powerful line in the whole thing. It's a two-way street. The rider feels this incredible sense of duty to his bike, and he vows he'll never trade him in for some new shining model. It's a real relationship, built on trust and all those shared miles. So you spend 20 years on the road with a loyal friend like that. What do you actually learn? Well, this last section is all about the wisdom you gain, these new ways of seeing the world that you can only get from a journey like this one. Okay, check this out because it's such a profound shift in perspective. You've got the traveler and a local shepherd looking at the exact same mountain. The traveler, he sees a goal, a summit to conquer. But the shepherd, he sees survival. He's wondering if there's enough grass for his sheep or if he can get them home before it rains. It's a really beautiful lesson in seeing the world through someone else's eyes. And that brings us to this final thought, the Himalayan lesson. And it's so simple you can break it down into 3 steps. First, the rider looked up, totally focused on the goal, the crown. Then, step 2, he stumbled on a tiny pebble and fell. And the lesson, step 3, now he looks down. He watches his feet while he's going up. It's this incredible metaphor for balancing our big ambitions with paying attention to the steps right in front of us.
So we'll leave you with that question. In your own journey, whatever that looks like, where's your focus right now? Are you so caught up in staring at the summit that you're forgetting the path? Are you watching the crown? Or are you watching your feet?